In the shadows where truth and tales intertwine, we find the thrilling, the chilling, the downright spine-tingling. From the paranormal to the peculiar, every echo has a story. Dare to delve into the unexpected, the unexplained? Brace yourself, for you're about to embark on a journey where fear meets fascination. Stay tuned if you dare, for stories that will make your heart race and your mind ponder. Welcome to the realm of the eerie, the realm of the unknown. And remember, like and subscribe, if you dare.
The old Blackwood Manor loomed over the town like a watchful gargoyle, its silhouette a jagged wound against the bruised twilight. It was a place of whispers and shadows, where secrets clung to the crumbling stonework like cobwebs. Locals muttered of a darkness that dwelled within, a malevolent presence that chilled the air and stole your breath. They dared not speak its name, but their fear painted vivid pictures in the minds of those foolish enough to listen. One name echoed through the years, a specter haunting the dilapidated halls. Blackwood, a name synonymous with wealth, madness, and a string of unexplained disappearances. In the heart of the town, a group of teenagers huddled around a flickering street lamp, their youthful bravado a flimsy shield against the encroaching darkness. Among them stood Michael, a young man on the cusp of adulthood, known more for his impulsiveness than his common sense. Tonight, he was about to cross that threshold. Tonight, he was going to tempt fate. A dare had been made, fueled by cheap beer and youthful arrogance, to spend a night within the decaying walls of Blackwood Manor. A night to prove their courage, to confront the legends that haunted their dreams. But as Michael stared at the manor, a shiver danced down his spine, a chilling premonition that this night would be different. This night, the darkness was waiting. Michael wasn't a hero. He wasn't particularly brave, he was just a kid who'd let his mouth write a check his nerves couldn't cash. Yet, here he stood, hand hovering over the rusted iron gate of Blackwood Manor, the weight of his friends' expectations a tangible pressure on his shoulders. He could hear their hushed whispers behind him, their doubts and fears a chorus in the night. The gate groaned open, its hinges protesting after years of neglect, and Michael stepped onto the grounds of Blackwood Manor. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of decay and the weight of unseen eyes. He could feel his pulse quicken, a drumbeat against the silence of the night. Each step forward was a victory against his instincts, a testament to his foolish pride. He told himself he didn't believe the stories, the whispers of hauntings, of restless spirits, of the Blackwood curse. They were just stories, meant to scare kids and keep them away from the crumbling manor on the hill. But as he walked deeper into the manor's decaying embrace, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was walking into the hungry maw of a beast that had been waiting for him. The oak door yielded with a groan, its resistance finally succumbing to years of rot and neglect. The sound was almost mournful, as if the house itself was lamenting its own decay. Michael hesitated for a moment, his hand still on the door handle, feeling the rough texture of the wood beneath his fingers. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay beyond. The smell hit Michael first, a musty, suffocating odor of decay and dampness. It was the scent of abandonment, of a place long forgotten by time and people. He wrinkled his nose in disgust, but there was no turning back now. The air was thick, almost tangible, as if he could reach out and touch the years of neglect that had settled like a shroud over everything. It spoke of things long forgotten, of secrets buried beneath layers of dust and time. He stepped inside, the door closing behind him with a resounding thud that echoed through the cavernous space. The sound reverberated off the walls, amplifying the sense of isolation that enveloped him. Michael felt a shiver run down his spine, the weight of the past pressing down on him like a physical force. The air was heavy, thick with the weight of countless untold stories. Dust motes danced in the faint moonlight that filtered through cracks in the boarded-up windows, casting eerie, shifting patterns on the walls. Each step he took stirred up more dust, the particles swirling around him like tiny ghosts. The room seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to happen, for some long-forgotten memory to be unearthed. He could hear the creak of the old house, the groan of timbers settling, each sound a whisper in the oppressive silence. Michael took a tentative step forward, his shoes crunching on the debris-strewn floor. The noise was jarring, a stark contrast to the otherwise stillness of the place. He felt like an intruder disturbing the peace of a place that had been left undisturbed for so long. He fumbled for his lighter, the small flame doing little to penetrate the oppressive darkness. The flickering light revealed glimpses of the room, a grand staircase choked with cobwebs, a chandelier draped in shadows like a skeletal hand reaching down from the ceiling. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying, a stark reminder of the grandeur that once was, and the decay that had taken its place. He was alone, yet he felt 1,000 unseen eyes watching his every move. The stillness was unnerving, broken only by the frantic beating of his own heart. Every creak, every groan of the house seemed amplified, echoing in the silence like a ghostly chorus. Michael's breath came in shallow gasps, the air thick with the weight of unseen presences. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting, watching. He swallowed, the sound impossibly loud in the suffocating silence, and ventured deeper into the belly of the beast. Each step felt like a journey into the unknown, the darkness closing in around him like a living thing. The house seemed to pulse with a life of its own, each creak and groan a heartbeat, each shadow a whisper of the past. Michael felt a sense of foreboding, a feeling that he was not just exploring an abandoned house, but stepping into a place where the past and present collided, where the walls held memories that were all too eager to be remembered. He moved forward, driven by a mix of curiosity and dread, knowing that whatever he found here would change him forever. Michael's footsteps echoed in the vast emptiness of the library. Bookshelves lined the walls, reaching towards the darkness of the unseen ceiling, their once proud volumes now victims of time and neglect. The air was thick with the smell of decaying paper and leather, a musty scent that spoke of forgotten knowledge and lost dreams. He ran a finger along the spines of the books, their titles barely visible beneath a thick layer of dust. Histories, romances, tragedies, all gathering dust in the suffocating silence. He imagined the stories these books could tell, tales of the people who had lived and loved and died within these walls. A sudden gust of cold air sent a shiver down his spine. He spun around, his heart pounding, but found nothing but the shifting shadows and the silent judgment of the books. He tried to rationalize the chill, to blame it on drafts and decaying insulation, but a primal fear whispered in the back of his mind. He wasn't alone. He could feel it now, a presence lurking just beyond the reach of his flickering lighter, watching him from the darkness between the bookshelves. He picked up his pace, his fear a living thing, urging him towards the library door. The hallway stretched before him, an endless tunnel of shadows and dust. The silence was broken only by the thud of his own heartbeat in his ears and the sound of his ragged breathing. He quickened his pace, his eyes darting from side to side, searching for any sign of movement in the oppressive gloom. Then he heard it. A whisper, faint and indistinct, carried on the edge of his hearing. It seemed to come from the walls themselves, a low, mournful moan that sent a shiver down his spine. He stopped, holding his breath, straining to hear over the frantic pounding of his own heart. There it was again, a whisper, closer this time, swirling around him like a cold breeze. He couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable, filled with sadness, with longing, with an underlying current of something darker, something malevolent. Fear coiled in his gut, cold and tight. He broke into a run, his footsteps echoing in the silent hallway. The whispers followed, growing louder, more insistent, swirling around him like a vortex of despair. He didn't dare look back. He could feel the presence of something unseen behind him, something cold and hungry that fed on his terror.
And so, our tale of the campfire horrors comes to an end. Until next time, sleep tight. Before we part ways, dear viewers, remember to stay vigilant. The campfire horrors may have been extinguished for now, but the embers of the unknown always remain. As you lay down to sleep tonight, don't forget the lessons from our tale. Safety is but a fleeting moment in a world of unseen. So if you've enjoyed this journey into the abyss, don't forget to ring that bell and smash that like button. Do it before the thing under your bed decides to pay you a visit. Oh, and keep those night lights on. You never know what might be lurking in the dark. Thank you for embarking on this terrifying adventure with us, until our paths cross again in another tale of the unknown. Goodbye and sweet dreams, if you can.